Hello guys, I am Kiran Tirukovila, your guest lecturer for the entire course tutorials ethical hacking and web application penetration testing. Very excited, right? Because this is your very first lecture on ethical hacking. So let's go ahead with the course. Before we go through the course, I want you to remember certain points. Have a book and a pen rather than typing on a keyboard on your notepad. It's better to have a notebook and a pen. Okay, while you're writing you can remember a lot of things. I don't know why it's a science, maybe a biological science. When you write something you will remember than typing or talking to or reading sometimes. Okay, and second thing, to become a real good hacker you must think like a criminal but do not act like a criminal. And also the third point, because you're currently in a learning stage, I want you to spend at least 3 to 6 months dedicatedly on this course. Go through the course chapters, go through the forums on ethical hacking and penetration testings, go through the newsletters, go to the magazines which I will be advising you in the later chapters, and go to the updates on hacking over the internet. Okay, so keep remember this, because hacking and medical science, these are the two subjects which regularly updates, to my knowledge. Maybe other subjects are there in this world which regularly updates, but hacking, day by day new attacks are found out, new vulnerabilities are found out, and new patches comes out. So you have to update yourself by registering yourself into the forum based, hacking based forums and blogs, etc. Okay, so now let's move to the course. What is hacking? Okay, basically, English definition of a hacking is modifying something existing. Basically it comes from a definition of hacking a wood, basically a trunk, and modifying it into some wooden like furniture. Basically that's what is a hack is. So let so that's the same, implementing the same scenario, like taking a raw log or a wood and changing it to a furniture is changing or modification of the originality. Similarly in computer space, when certain applications are developed and you change the functionality of an application by permission of an owner or without the permission of owner, is hacking. But if you do with the consent or a permission of a owner, it's an ethical hacking. While you do the same, okay, without the permission or a knowledge of the owner, it is a cyber crime. So hacking is nothing but modification of the originality. Okay, so ethical hacking is a course that is a domain of an IT security. What is an IT? You know what is an IT is. It's an information technology. It's not a time to speak completely about IT, because you are learning here in ethical hacking, and I think you must have little knowledge on what IT is. So now let us jump to a security part. So what is a security? I want you to pause this video and ask yourself what is a security is. You came back? You have an answer? Let us take a scenario. A girl is walking alone. A woman is walking alone at a midnight, 11:30 or 12 p.m. and some persons attacks her. Okay, attacks her, and she protects herself with some uh, books or a bag in her hand. She throws some stones at them. Okay, it means that she's protecting herself from their attack. Okay, so IT security is nothing but protecting against attack. Okay, but that's not entirely the definition of attack. Security is nothing but implementing certain strategies, policies, methodologies, so that the impact of an attack by your enemy on you, the attack on you, is as low as possible. You got my point? Let us take a scenario. There is a VIP. he's a VIP, and somebody tried to kill her. Now your security professionals or bodyguards tries to cover you so that the impact of a attacker on you is as low as possible. So that is what an IT security is. Okay, so this is the definition: implementing strategies against an attack so that the impact of attack on you is as low as possible. Now let us you know uh, let us take this into a cyberspace. What is an IT security? IT security is nothing but implementing policies. Basically, it's called as ISMS, Information Security Management Systems and related policies on a corporate. Implementing policies, mechanisms, or strategies against an attack by an attacker, basically cyber criminal who attacks your computer or a network or a web server or a website. Okay, so that the attack on your resource, basically what all I mentioned right now, like networks or servers or services, is as low as possible. Okay, how? By installing softwares like antivirus, by configuring firewalls, by additional security measures like putting routers, NAT configurations, IDS, that is intrusion detection systems, intrusion prevention systems, and so on. So this is nothing but you are implementing certain policies or mechanisms so that the attack by a cyber criminal on you, that is your computers or a network, is as low as possible, right? Now IT security, it is a domain that is partitioned, or it has two branches, basically defensive security and offensive security. What is a defensive and offensive securities are? See, now you have a knowledge on CCSP. You are a CCSP professional, that is Cisco Certified Security Professional, or a CCNA or a CCI, that is Cisco Certified Internet Networking Expert, or IANS, implementing iOS networks, or you may be a Juniper file or network, or you may be working as a system administrator or a system security administrator or a network security administrator. The job role is to protect your organization. Your job role is to protect your organization from the external and internal attacks. Yes, even from the internal attacks, but you do not reverse attack them. You only take measures. That's measures means, I mean, policies. You only follow certain policies that defends from the attacks. Okay, that is a defensive security, but you do not reverse attack them. Okay, that is a defensive security. While it comes to offensive security, okay, even here you do not reverse attack actually, but it is that you attack yourself. Yourself means you attack your own computers, networks, like a real evil hacker. That means that you will implement all attacking strategies that a real cyber criminal implements on your own websites or web servers or networks or routers or systems or everything, to find out what all the vulnerabilities or bugs in your infrastructure or resources are, so that you can patch them before the external attacks occurs on your resources. Okay, courses like ethical hacking, web application penetration testing, penetration with backtrack, so on, all comes into offensive security group, right? So that's what a defensive and offensive security definitions are. When someone kicks you, okay, keeps kicking you and protect yourself with hands or any object you have, is a defensive security. While offensive security is when someone kicks you and keeps kicking you and you reverse punch him, that is offensive. We call it offensive because you slap someone or you kick someone is crime by law. Okay, you should report in the police station or law enforcement, but you should not kick someone. So it is called as an offensive security, but it has a slight variation in a definition when you relate it with a cyberspace. This is what we just had. Ethical hacking is an offensive security course, so please do not attack any real-time computers, even to show your activity on your friends, or you might be a little naughty, so you attack your own friends computers. Even you don't do that. Okay, this course is completely for educational purpose only. We are teaching this course so that you can make your career in IT security, or you protect your computers, your servers, your home routers, etc., or your corporate routers, but not to attack someone. Okay. We already discussed it. What's the meaning of a hacking? It's a verb basically used to describe as a rapid crafting of a new program, making changes to existing, usually a complicated software. Definition of a hacker. Yeah, this is very exciting part for me. You know, the definition of a hacker is a person who enjoys learning the details of a computer systems and how to stretch the capabilities, as opposed to most of the users who prefer to learn only by minimum amount or necessary. Let me tell you how my father suffers. Basically, how my father, suffers a lot when he says that my son is a hacker. When he says to his friends or colleagues that my son is a hacker, they say, "Your son is a cyber criminal. No, how can he? Can he do some job right?" My father says, "Hey, come on, man. Come to the canteen. Let's sip some coffee and tell what the hacking is." Okay? A hacker is a person actually who enjoys learning the details of a computer, right? Who thinks out of a box. Okay? Hacker is such a person. But somewhere in 1970s or 60s, some hackers has done some cyber crimes, and this media has given a negative connotation to the hacker, and people think that hacker is a cyber criminal, but that is not entirely or exactly true. Okay, hacker is a person who has a good knowledge on computers, basically a good knowledge on computer networks, computer programming, or everything architecture, and he tries to stretch his capabilities by learning and by doing some practicals or research or everything, and of course implementing that research in real time. Okay, one who's a programmer enthusiastically and who enjoys the programming rather than the origin about the programming. So what do ethical hackers do? Ethical hackers evolution of a system security risk answers the three basic questions. Okay, what in real times ethical hackers job roles are? Okay, say some client has come to you, approached you, asking to conduct some testing on his, say for example, server. So you as an ethical hacker or a tester, penetration tester, have three basic questions. What an attacker or an intruder see on your target systems, means an attacker what he's trying to see on your website or server. What an attacker or intruder can do with the information. Say for example, your website has some vital information that can even collapse your business. So he might be interested in that information. So what can intruder do with the information? Sometimes he can sell the information to the rival companies, right? And does anyone at the target notice the intruder's attempts success or a failure even, right? Okay, I did not write the failure here, but does anyone at the target notice the intruder's attempt? Say for example, some external attacker is attacking your system, or an internal attacker is also attacking your corporate system. Does a security professional at your organization is really noting the real-time attacks? So that is the question, means how good your security policies are. When the client requests an evaluation, there is quite a bit of discussion on a paperwork that must be done upfront. That is, we are talking about a non-disclosure conduction of an assessment, technicalities related to it, and the non-disclosure agreement. Okay, what are you trying to protect? Okay, so now the client has approached, and you ask him, what are you trying to protect? Okay, that means he's trying to protect his website from what? What are you trying to protect against? Okay, you're trying to protect your website or a computer or a resource or a network, but against what? Okay, right, this is the second question. How much time, effort and money? Penetration testing, hacking, it's all related to money. Not just this, every business in this world relates to money. If a businessman thinks, does it does he want to put some money and it's really worth, then only the businessman spends some money. Even companies, I have seen so many companies that are that whose websites are really hackable, a lot of vulnerabilities. When some hacker approaches such companies, they will say, what will happen to my website if certain hacker hacks it? They don't know. They will only come to know when actually their websites are hacked and their personal data or a corporate data is stolen. So how much time, effort and money are you willing to expend to obtain adequate protection? Okay, protection is always necessary. So how does an on-floor approach occurs? That means in a real time, client comes to you, says his requirements. That is what a meeting with the client. After understanding his requirements, after going through the brief of the information regarding the client's resources, and if everything is okay and if you are able to perform the assessment, you will sign an NDA. NDA stands for non-disclosure agreement. Non-disclosure agreement is a paper. It is a set of informations that a client gives to you, and you abide to certain requirements of a client, that like you will never share this information to anyone. Okay, you will never talk about this project to anyone. You will never present this project to anyone anywhere, because the guy or a penetration tester or a hacker who is conducting this testing knows all vulnerabilities of a client's uh, website or a server on which he is conducting a penetration testing or a hack. So this is the point where you need to you need to have your ethics. Okay, now after the signing an NDA, you or your team, basically if you're a lead or you're a security manager, you prepare a security evaluation plan, means how to conduct a testing. Okay, now you conduct a test after talking to your manager or discuss about the project with your team members. Okay, after the security evaluation plan is done, a step-by-step methodology is planned and planned, then you conduct the test. Okay, remember, this is a place where you have to remember a lot in a real time when you are conducting real time testing. When this fourth stage comes, the conduction of the test, you have to notify your client that you are going to perform attack at certain point of time, because you give him a chance to take the backup. Say for example, he is running a website and you are conducting a test on the website. If you notify him, he will take the backup, because sometimes when you are conducting in a real-time scenario, the collapse of the network or services goes down, and entire website may go crash, even system may crash, go crash, and blah 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 happens sometimes. Okay, so if you have a backup, that's a really good plan. You can restore it. Okay, after the test is conducted, okay, whether the result is a successful result or a failure result. uh, do you mean what I said, or successful result or a failure result? Failure is a good and successful is a bad. Hope you might be a little confused. Failure is a good, success is bad with respect to attacker's perspective, but it's entirely reverse with respect to a client's. Failure is good, it means that the infrastructure or resource on which you are performing a test is fail, means it's really secured. Okay, but if it's success, means you have really compromised the website or a network or other infrastructure. So that's a successful attack and a failure attack, what I exactly meant was. Okay, now you will write all the reports, all the vulnerabilities, its patch related information, documentation, and you present the report to the clients regarding your findings. So this is entirely meeting with a client to the presentation of your tests. This is the on-floor approach. Ways of ethical hacking or testings. This is the ways that exactly our cyber criminals also follows. There are several kinds of testing, right, which we'll look one by one. Say for example you have a target and you are sitting somewhere in America and you are conducting some test on your clients which is somewhere in India or Sri Lanka. Okay, so that is what a remote network testing is. The test simulates the intruder of launching an attack across the internet. The primary defenses must be defeated here are border firewalls, filtering, routers and web servers. It means that whether a real-time hacker or a evil hacker, I mean a real-time evil hacker or a ethical hacker, when trying to attack remotely on a network, okay, the primary defense mechanism should be a border firewalls, filtering, routers and web servers. Second, a remote dial-up network. This test is a test where the intruder or attacker attacks against the modem pools. What are the modem pools? Every corporate or a companies or even my home, my villa have a secondary internet facility. Okay, generally we have broadbands. Okay, but what if my broadband internet connection goes down and I'm working, I need an internet? I'll take the secondary as a telephonic interview. That's a modem basically. Okay, telephonic modem. All right. So he'll try to find out the client's modem pool. Okay, primarily defense here uses authentication schemes. Okay, these kinds of tests should be coordinated. If you're ethical hacker, basically, no, I'm not talking about a cybercrime. If you're ethical hacker, before conducting such test, you should be coordinated with a local telephonic company. Next, local networks. Local networks, like you have internet connection at your home and your ISP has somewhere at your local station has kept some hub and given some connections to your society or some colony or maybe your apartment, then you are a part of a LAN. Okay, so local network, this test simulates employee, no, this is talking about an internal network. This test simulates an employee or an authorized person who has legal connection to the organized network. The primary defenses must be defeated herein are internet firewalls, internal web servers, security mechanisms, measures, and email systems. This what is written on local network definition is related to some internal corporate, but in reality, as I already told, if some your ISP is providing internet with respect to local router and hub, you will become a part of a local network and you can actually a cyber criminal actually conduct some hacks on a local network the same way the tests are. Okay, stolen laptop, this is really my god interesting and very uh, you know very weird to read about this. I heard in America basically a lot of laptops are stolen. When primary investigations are done, police department or law enforcement has found out that these laptops belongs to the higher officials of top big companies. When they tried to investigate why these laptops are stolen, basically they are to find out the crucial information or a project information of the related companies. Okay, that is a negative side of a stolen laptop computer. But this can't be in a real time in an ethical way, because you cannot steal a person's laptop with his permission. Ethical hacking is something you are giving permission, means your client is giving you permission, but stealing a laptop, that doesn't comes to my knowledge, I never heard about it anyway. But in real time scenarios, laptops are stolen from higher officials or key employees or project managers to get some vital information from the hard disk of that laptops. Social engineering, this is also really interesting. Social engineering is actually attacking human stupidity. Okay, my friend talks to me too much because he tries to dig out some information that I I provide him without my knowledge. That's what he's attacking my stupidity is. This test evaluate the target's organization staff as a whether it would leak information to someone. A typical example of it would be intruders calling a organization's computer helpline and asking for external telephone numbers or modem pull. You might have heard a name of a very good hacker, Mr. Kevin Minnick. Kevin Minnick is a great social engineer. Okay, generally this hack, occurs like you are calling to some companies, and you're saying that you're the employee of that organization and you request some information. That is actually you're trying to fool the person who is actually picking your call. Okay, or you're talking to a friend trying to get some information, so that you actually trying to get the passwords of some certain information, right? The physical entering, when all above doesn't work, yet you need some information uh, from your target, you physically do that. At the time your computers or your network doesn't work out, you go to a place or a corporate organization, you penetrate, that is called breach into its uh, breach into their organizations, and you take out or you steal some information from them. This is a physical and physical entry. Okay, basically this is done by keeping a false identification, false ID cards, etc. Sometimes this attack happens to get papers from a trash cans. Okay, because trash cans have trash papers that sometimes might contain a really good information. Okay, now let us look at some technical terms related to hacking. Security we have already seen, implementing policies, mechanisms, strategies, and blah 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 blah. Pause it and read it. Threat. Threat, an action or event that might compromise the security. If security, it is the violation of a security policy. Now what exactly a threat is? As said, a woman is walking alone at midnight of 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. At such scenario, she has some threat. Hope you understand. A threat is nothing but somebody could see her, somebody could attack her. Okay, or she might be drunk and she might be going on a road. A truck can do some action. It means that at the time, at the situational point, she really has a threat and she needs a security. Okay, remember, there is a threat means there is a chance that something could happen, some action could happen, some attack could happen, and she needs a security. Target of evaluation. This only relates to an IT part. Target of evaluation is nothing but, say you have a 10 computers in your home or a company. The only computer or router or other infrastructure which really needs testing is called as a target of evaluation. Attack. You know what a threat is? Threat is nothing but there was a chance that somebody might attack her or compromise the security of a computer or organization. Now when the chance has really taken place, means the action is performed. Okay, attack is an assault against a computer or a network. Means there was a threat on certain computer or a woman. Now the threat has taken into an action form. Somebody has attacked, so that is called as an attack. Now note that the attack could be a successful attack or a failure attack. That doesn't bother. Attack could be a successful attack or a failure attack, but somebody has tried to attack because there was a threat on you or your computer or something. Hacktivism. Very silly. Hacktivism refers to hacking for a cause. See, I am hacking my friend's computer because I don't like him. That's what is hacktivism is. Okay? Because I don't like him, underline I don't like him, I'm hacking him. So my hacktivism is I don't like him. Say for example, I'm from India, okay, and I'm hacking some other country's hacker. What is the country's company or infrastructure? Why do I do that? It could be a political revenge. So that is what the hacktivism or a motive behind a hack is called as a hacktivism. Please write on a paper. Motive behind a hack is called as a hacktivism. My motive is that it's a political revenge. Okay. Say for example, somebody comes to me, it happens all the time. Some people comes to me and ask to hack some person's Gmail or a Facebook or some other account's password or a computer's password. Even recently I have had a person came to me and asked me to spy his wife's mobile, and he said that he will pay me. So if I do that for money, okay, now underline for money, that is what a hacktimism is. Means I'm hacking for money. Exploit is a piece of a code basically that you use to attack. Okay, simply a software or a script. Exploit is a code that take advantage of a bug or a vulnerability that is used to attack a computer or a network infrastructure. Vulnerability or a bug or a loophole, these are all synonyms of a vulnerability. It is existence of a software flaw, logic design, implementation error that can lead to unexpected results or undesired results that could compromise your network systems and blah blah blah. It means that some program has been written by some programmer. Say there was some little a flaw, loophole in some functions in a program. Attacker can use that error or a misprogram or a error and could use for attack, right? A default configurations on a networks, routers, even your system is a vulnerability and could lead to an attack. If it could lead to an attack, it means that there is a threat. Now you might understand what is a threat, what is an attack, and what is a vulnerability. Elements of security. Now we know what is a security is, but why do we need a security? Okay, don't say that because we need a job. Okay. Anyway, elements of security are confidentiality, authenticity, and integrity. Right, what is a confidentiality? Ensuring that the information or a service is accessible to an authorized person. Okay, you are giving some information through some service, but there are so many people, but you want only authorized persons needs must be able to access. That is confidentiality. Sometimes, if you have attended some interview questions, or if you go for a job interview, interviewer may ask you what is the difference between authentication and authorization. Pause this video, think some time, and answer yourself. If not, just try to find out from internet. Okay, pause it. I hope you are back. I hope you got an answer. Okay, if you don't get, let me tell you. Authentication is nothing but having some credentials to get into some organization or some website. Say for example, I have keys for my house, even my wife have. So keys are the credentials that allows you to come into my home or my wife into my home. So that is what is an authentication is. Okay, that's a scenario. Say for example, my keys are given to my friend by me, and I gave my keys to my friend, and he has the keys, means he has the credentials, so he can come into my house, means he is authenticated into my house. My friend is my best friend, yeah I know, but he cannot come into my bedroom, right? He can come into my dining hall, he can come into my office room, but he cannot come into my bedroom. It's our personal, right? So he is not authorized. Now let us take to a cyberspace. Authentication is nothing but having some credentials like login credentials. You have a website, Facebook, Google, or router. Okay, you have username and a password. You can get into that router or a website using the login credentials that are usernames and password. You can go into it. Okay, now you have logged into some router, but how level you can go it? You can have only administration level or a user level. That is what an authorization is. You are authorized to access only certain resources, but you are not authorized, in spite of having an authentication, but you are not authorized to reach some resources or access some resources. Okay, that is the difference between authentication and authorization. Okay, now the second, authenticity. So you know what is an authentication is. So authenticity, the identification assurance of origin of a data. You are getting some data, you must have a confidentiality that the the origin of the data is true. Okay. Integrity is nothing but trustworthiness of data or a resource. Somebody might have intercepted some transaction, might have modified some data. Okay, the actual sender has sent some data, but the integrity of the data is lost by unauthorized changes. So that is false on internet. That is a cybercrime. So all these three elements actually focuses on the security. As already told, to become a good hacker, think like a criminal. But if you act like a criminal, the very next stage is very next place you will visit is, it's not a tourist place, it's behind bars in a police station. Okay. Now let me clearly give a picture how to think like a criminal. Okay. Now you see a pink color VIP house, red color normal houses, apartment in a gray or green, and a police station in a orange. Your your job is to get some information or a papers or a cash from a VIP house. Okay. How do you steal it? You have to make a strategy how to get into the VIP house and penetrate into it, steal whatever you want, come back. Take the strategy. Pause this video and think about for some time how could you do that, because it's a VIP house, there could be security guards, there could be a lot of people roaming around, there could be seeing someone from the neighbor house, maybe police van is going through the same road. So how to make a strategy? Actually, I am not training here how to steal some information. I am only training you how to make a strategy. Okay. For testing you really need a strategy in a real time scenarios, because when you go stage by stage in a real time scenarios, and when some scenarios comes where you actually test a very big corporate network, you really need to have a strategy. Like, say for example, the company implements security policies and have IDS, IPS and everything. Say it has some IDS devices and IPS devices belongs to Cisco or Juniper. You are good at Cisco but not at Juniper. So strategy is that you have to recruit a person who has good skills in Juniper, means configuring or working on a Juniper. Okay. Now there are some services deployed on some web servers. You are a good programmer but you are not good, a web application tester. Maybe a website is running. So what is the strategy? You have to recruit a penetration tester, web application penetration tester. That is what is building up your strategy. Means you are making a team to test out the entire corporate network where there are so many servers like web server, FTP server, SNMP server, routers, devices, blah 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 blah. Okay. So okay, so have an attitude of a criminal but never ever think like a criminal. Hacking methodology is a 5-stage methodology. Whether you're a ethical hacker or whether it's a cyber criminal, all follows the same. Because hacking, I say that hacking is like a weapon in your hand. If a law enforcement person uses it, he uses only for security purpose, good purpose. While the same weapon is used by antisocial element, whether it's a terrorist or a thief, local thief, he uses for a bad person. It's not a fault of a gun or a weapon, it's fault the person who is using it. Similarly, having a hacking skills is nothing wrong, but if you're using it for a wrong purpose, that's a bad. So hacking methodology is the same. 5-stage: reconnaissance, scanning, gaining access, maintaining access and clearing tracks. Reconnaissance scanning is an information gathering stage. It's a stage where hacker or cyber criminal profiles for the information to attack against the target. He'll try to get a lot of information. In reality, 90% of the time of the attack is spent on only these first two phases. Basically, it's an information gathering stage. Third stage is gaining access. It is the stage where actually you implement a attack. This is a very small time, maybe couple of days, 5 minutes, 2 minutes to couple of days. Okay, you just attack and you go. But what if the attack is successful attack? I earlier told that attack could be a successful attack or a failure attack. Okay, what if it was a successful attack? Evil hackers might implant some trojans, some malware, and they'll try to have access to your computer or a router as long as he can. Okay, that is what is a maintaining. He actually makes you zombie and uses your computer or network to further attacks. Okay, after his job is done, he clears the tracks, that is clearing logs. So this is basically hacking methodologies that even a ethical hacker or a cyber criminal follows. Classification of hackers: white hats, black hats, gray hats. There are no other hats. There is a red hat, but it's a Linux operating systems. There are no other hats. Basically, these hats comes into picture by classic Hollywood movies where cowboys who wears white hats are good guys. The cowboys who wear black hats are bad guys. They have, I don't know how it came, but white hats are the hackers. They are good hackers, basically ethical hackers, or trainers like me, or penetration testers like me, and blah blah blah, or a consultants, information security consultants, network engineers, network security engineers. These are all guys with the hacking skills, but they do not harm, or their hacktivism is not evil purpose. Okay, right? Now the black hats are bullshit guys. These are the malicious hackers. They do anything, they do it, their hacktivism has a negative connotation or a evil thoughts, right? They do it for money, they do it for political agenda, they might do it for a revenge. They do it because they might be a sadist. So all guys who do hack with a malicious or a bad intentions or a bad hacktivism intentions, these are called as a black hats. Now the gray hats, this is funny. Take me as an example. If I am teaching you this course and I'm a trainer, I'm earning good, I'm a security consultant, I do good. But what if someone comes to me and gives me good money, say $10,000 or $20,000, $50,000, and say, please buy this mobile. Maybe money attracts everyone. What if I take the money and do some naughty work? Yes, grey hats are the person who do both good and bad things. But not, I'm not a grey hat. Right, script kiddies are persons who has some low level knowledge on hacking. It completely depends on the tools and code snippets. And newbies are you, people who are very new to hacking and trying to learn some hacking. There are other classification of hackers like neophyte. Neophyte is also newbies. Suicide hackers. Australia have Australian government has written some articles, I guess, to my knowledge, written about a suicide hackers. These guys are really dangerous guys. They work for money, basically big money, and they do malicious attacks, and they don't care even if they are caught. Okay, they are suicide hackers. What is ethical hacking again? It's a legal permission is obtained from the target. Part of overall security program, identifies vulnerabilities visible from internet at particular point of time. Hacker possesses same skills, mindset, tools, hacker, but the attacks are done in a non-destructive manner. He will take certain measures so that the destruction doesn't take place, but sometimes it happens. So conclusion: this is introduction to ethical hacking. Might you might now really more excited to learn the upcoming chapters, listen to upcoming lectures. Okay, you're going to learn the concepts, technicals, technologies, tools, attacks, countermeasures, mitigation techniques, securities related to hacking and IT security. All the best guys. If you have any doubts, any technical doubts, any theoretical doubts, and if you want to talk to me, please write on the discussion board. Thank you and have a good day. All the best.